Hey,
Hey,
what's going on?
Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, we hear you great. Can you hear us?
Okay, we can't hear you. Dave and KP. I don't know if you're muted or
No, I'm not
is it
muted.
recording? Recording, it says. Okay, great.
Can you hear me now?
Hi, whoa, growing up. It's so fun. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Trail Mix meeting for July 14th. That's right, Bastille Day. We are kicking this off and starting at 11:02. I'm going to officially call this meeting to.
If you can hear me, boys, clap once.
Oh, ooh, that's good.
Right.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Samantha's in charge. All right, do you have the attendance ready?
Yeah.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind, we'll start, but we'll just go around and do attendance. And if you haven't been here, just give us a little bit because we're putting it in, just punching it in the form here. Almost.
I got it.
Okay, you'll get it. Okay, so Brendan Cameron, Chair of Trail Mix.
Lucas Blake, Secretary.
That's a very I'm sorry, that was real fast. Can you say that one more time?
Betsy Byrne, National Park Service, Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance Program.
Awesome, Betsy. We're excited to hear from you today.
Hi, I'm Maryville. Hi, you have Arthur Maryville would help you.
Arthur, you're growing up. Holy cow.
Almost a year old.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay, awesome.
It's a chair, citizen, and former GM rep.
Brett, we missed you. So glad to have you back. You look good. You look good. Hi, Katie. Glad you're here.
Allie Harper, Moab Office of Tourism.
Hi, Allie. I'm really glad you're here.
Can you spell A-L-L-Y or I-E?
Just ALI.
A-L-I.
Paddling over sand spots and
Double duty today. Again, we're happy to have you.
Next, later, That's so loud. Yeah.
Perfect.
Are you new here, ma'am? Is this your first time? Are you new here? Okay.
Maddie Lodwitz, Director of GCAT.
So glad you're here, Manny.
Colin Copper, City Council.
Colin, really happy that you're here. You're also representing some hooligans, I think, some NICA hooligans later on today too. So, Coach Colin. So it's Collin City Councilor and Coach Colin. So,
Laura Sturts, National Park Service.
hi, Laura.
C-U-R-T-Z.
That's correct.
Glad that you're here, Laura. Hi, Tim. Glad you're here. Thanks for fixing my bike again. It's working great. Thanks.
Ken Hodges, NPS rep.
Hi, Sam. Good to see you. It's like an MPS takeover here today. This is exciting. By the way, MPS folks, Sam has done an incredible job representing you all at these meetings and got some great feedback. And Sam, we've been wanting to talk about Archers Access for the last 10 years. So we're really excited that we're actually going to talk about it today. So thank you for bringing that back to your folks.
David Glover, Viking rep.
Thanks, David.
Michael Thomas, Viking.
Yeah, glad you're here. Harris is a citizen and a rad citizen who's really good on a bike and also can wrench as well. Harris, we're really happy to have you here. Thank you.
Steve Schultz, equestrian.
Thanks, Steve. You look great. So glad you're here. We missed you. We missed you.
Martin Bauer, Steve Spear.
Awesome. Thanks, Marty. Hi, Anna. Thanks for being here.
Patrick, Parks and Rec.
Hi, Pat. So glad you're here.
Brian Martinez, Grand County Commissioner.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for visiting us. Appreciate it.
Samantha Derbyshire, Vice Chair, Grand County Trail Mix.
And let's see. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, hi.
Brad Walker, Park Ranger, Utah Rec.
Brad, we missed you. I'm glad you're back.
Activity rep.
Dave, happy to have you back. Good to see you. I know you're busy, so thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Zane, happy to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all. Okay, did we miss anyone? We've got a few online. So can we hear you two yet?
Can you hear me?
No, we
Can you hear
can't.
us?
Dave and KP are online. It seems like they can maybe hear us, but we can't hear them. I want to
And
make
Tim-
sure that I have all my, yep,
Tim Rowell is on the
sound.
phone.
Okay, and then there's somebody on the phone with an 801 number.
That would be Tim Rowell. Hello,
Someone?
that's Tim Rowell.
Uh-oh, I hope it's not this.
This is
exactly Oh, wait, try again. I think we can maybe hear you now.
Tim Rowell on the phone.
Yay. Okay.
You hear
Thanks for
us?
being- Yeah, we hear you now, Dave. Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
Dave,
was
Dave Wilson at large and KP, the ski rep here.
KP, we're really excited to hear about the ski report later on today. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for being on. Appreciate it. I'd sent out the minutes yesterday. We just need to get an approval on last meeting's minutes. They were somewhat brief because we had a little bit of a tech issue, but I think they covered everything. So I'll open up for a motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
I'll make a motion. I did see there's one typo. I forget now where it was, but minor.
Okay.
Correct the one typo.
Maybe you get with me after just to make sure. Okay. Okay. Seconds. Everyone that's good with the minutes that could vote, raise your hands. Arthur raised his hand. Thank you. Any opposed? Okay. Meeting minutes pass. And Maddie, if you can get with me right after so we can fix that one, I would really appreciate it.
And we
Awesome.
have a new person. Hi, please introduce yourself.
I'm John Stanfield.
Thank you.
Hi, John. Are you just here as a citizen? Are you representing anyone? I'm really happy you're here.
I'm a coach on the,
Oh, you are? Cool. Great, because we're going to be talking
Man,
about NICA
They
stuff
just
later
keep
on.
coming.
Awesome.
And we got,
Hey, Casey, how are you?
Good.
Good. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Casey.
Full name, the last name?
Casey Montanan.
Citizen?
Yes.
Awesome, Casey. Thanks for joining us. The Golden McLeod participant
in the flesh.
in the flesh. Can you introduce yourself? And Golden McLeod recipient 2 years running, I think, right? So, thanks for being. Okay, Smith, you want to tell us about
the
this?
coconut lime balls. They have almond flour. Fake. They are
Whoa, for faith.
but none of you nutty people.
Sorry, you guys online. You don't
And
get these.
Jason Taylor.
JT, you want to introduce yourself?
Jason Taylor.
Who are you representing? Or are you a citizen? Or are you a city council? Or are you, what are you today? Not just. Okay, take that back. So glad that you're all here. Okay, great. Hopefully a lot of you are here to chat about the Arches Bike Access, which is our kind of next agenda. And then some of you are also here to discuss the NICA opportunities to increase the opportunities for races here. But also if there's any citizens that want to be heard very first thing, are there any here that would like to be heard first thing? We always, it's pretty open and we invite feedback as we discuss each item. But is there anything that any citizens would want to, this is the section citizens to be heard. So anyone would like to contribute anything? Okay, awesome. Well, I'm really excited. Like I mentioned before, we have been trying to chat about, and it's been on a hot topic. In fact, this is why we initially invited Sam and the other NPS to be here each month, because it came up so often about biking access and other access into the national parks, canyons, and arches, primarily arches. And so we have our very first discussion item is revolves around the Arches bike access. And so Betsy, I think, is going to lead us through that. So Betsy, thanks so much. Quick, and you kind of gave yourself a quick introduction, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you do and then we'll chat.
That'd be great. I'm going to walk over here so the people on the out can hear me. Hey everybody, I know a lot of you here, but I think a lot of you probably don't know me. I'm Betsy Byrne. I'm with the National Park Service, but actually with the Community Assistance Program, called the Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance Program. So we work with communities on their own ideas for outdoor recreation and conservation projects. One project I worked on here fairly recently was the Moab Town Boat Ramp. Maddie was on that group, and hopefully funding might be coming down the line for that boat ramp, but to kind of redo that whole sort of code access. So that's the kind of domain I help with. I'm based in Salt Lake City. And for this project, working with Superintendent Nick Case at Arches, and Amy Tendick, park planner, but unfortunately they were unable to make it today. So Sam and Laura are representing the park and going to help kind of be park ears for us as we talk about this. But my role is really kind of a neutral facilitator and convener to bring together like a group of people to just talk about this bike access to Arches idea, like what are the possibilities, what's feasible, how should the park side sort of prioritize any improvements that might that the group might come up with. And we have a really great community group. We've got Utah Raptor State Park is a really important partner because I think there's a really great opportunity to work with state parks right next door to Arches, and they come up with some ideas. And Maddie's on that group, and Mick and Allie kind of representing tourism and gravel guide, which I think Brian Vaughn. So we got a lot of folks on in Colin, right there. So we've got a really great group of folks, and we keep talking about like what can we do with this, you know, getting bikes up into the park? What does this look like? What might visitors want? What kind of experience might they have biking in the park? We do. So we've come up with some ideas, but then we really wanted to come to some group of, you know, experts like y'all who can say, hey, this is what we see as a desirable experience biking in the park. Here's what we think visitors might want. Here's what we think, you know, the rental and outfitter entities in Moab might be able to support. So that's really sort of why I'm here today, just to kind of get feedback and learn a little bit more from you to help guide that whole process. So I'm sort of winging this a little bit just because this is a.
And so you need help to want somebody.
Yeah, even that, we can pass them around, or maybe I'll just point them out first, and then, yeah, somebody can like. We can hold them up.
I'm happy to hold that.
So I'll get to my list of questions in a minute, but I just want to kind of give you a brief overview of some of the options that we've been looking at. One of the, which are you guys can see that? One of the ones we're looking at is the route from Utah Raptor Park State Park into Balanced Rock. There's Willow Springs Road, and that's, you know, kind of backcountry route. It's, you know, four-wheelers. It's also kind of a fun mountain bike route or a gravel route. Really great opportunity to partner with Utah Raptor State Park there, and it's kind of a route in, and it does pass through this little bit of BLM land. So we're looking at it too, but thinking of this as an adventure route or a gravel route, maybe without a ton of improvements, but it's one of the things we're going to want to talk to you about. And ending up a Balanced Rock. And then the other,
It's like behind the service section, right? That's like kind of where the road.
yeah, right on the road, and just like there's already an experience there, but this is maybe sort of like a marketing kind of thing, like, hey, you can use this as a.
Any combination with the club like.
Yeah, right. There's already like a lot of bike activity in that area. So, the other thing we're kind of looking, and you can, is what are some possibilities along the main park road? You know, I think ideally you would be able to ride from the visitor center up into the park. At this point, we're kind of thinking that's not terribly feasible to get on that road. There's switchbacks, very tight and constrained. Not really an opportunity to widen the road through there. So we're thinking, well, is there a possibility to maybe invite people to drive up to LaSalle viewpoint and maybe bike in from there into Balanced Rock or Windows or something like that? Is that a separated paved pathway? You know, what might that look like? So those are some ideas that we're bouncing around. And so I guess from my group, is there any other backgrounds you want to kind of mention before I kind of dive into some questions, or is that? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and you can feel free to like maybe just pass those around so you can take a closer look. Because it's really hard to read that in front of it. But so I guess just to get some of your input sort of initially, and you see now as some of the barriers to cycling? Mention a little bit like terrain or distance, things like that. Like, what do you see? Barry Road and Arrow? Yeah.
All kinds of things. So right now, our bikes fuel fines to the vertical review path. So
Well, right now it's right on the main part road.
we almost. So the Little Springs Road, would that be just existing or was it a spike, a big trail? Right.
Right now, we're looking at Willow Springs Road as just riding on the road as it is. We have talked about, maybe that's a phase one, and if, future phase, if there's like a lot of interest in people are really riding it. The park does have 150 feet, on each side from the center line, that they could potentially do something within that sort of right of way. So is there like a separate single track sort of trail through there? We did look at it, and Maddie, maybe you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I could just give a little bit of background and kind of some thoughts from the site visit we had. So I think like the bigger question is the main goal of the project. Like, is it, who's the user for these work? Is it for sort of like the average Joe who wants to go experience churches, and like we're trying to give them a way to experience it on a bicycle instead of a car? Is it for like the more adventurous folks who are maybe more like a gravel riding area? Is it to decrease congestion at the entrance booth? Like, there's all these different goals it could fulfill. I think we talked about at Willow Springs. It has a lot of opportunity for, like, has really great scenic value, because right now it's just the one road kind of in the landscape. It's got very minimal traffic currently, so it has a lot of potential for maybe more like a adventure experience. So maybe not appealing to that like bell curve of people, but for folks who are like maybe a little more athletic, or maybe like want a longer road ride, or have their mountain bikes. There's potentially a tie in some of these car actors, so there'd be a little more infrastructure out there, and then that could be opportunities for a long loop. And then we talked about like, well, we wanted a separated path. There's kind of three options for that. There's like a single track parallel to the road. There's a gravel route, or a gravel trail parallel to the road, or a full paved path. And so just talking through kind of the options, our feelings, which are, well, yours, the overridden, but were that like none of those really fit the type of experience. Because if you're having people who are maybe more looking for the backcountry experience, having a full paved path might be kind of inhibit that experience, or create more of like a visual star, I guess, if people are looking for more of the sort of like vast untouched landscape. And then with the single track and the gravel, a single track trail would be more of like a blue intermediate trail, getting no terrain, just kind of what the road is. So I guess the question is, if you build a trail, would you end up having people wanting to ride on the road because it kind of has a similar, a similar difficulty level, but people can ride side by side? Or you might get people, if they're more beginner, kind of weaving back and forth between the two, of like one thing looks easier and the next part looks harder, and also vehicles potentially doing that same thing. So, and maybe I'm speaking for myself, take it all the grain of salt, but I guess my feeling was that it's kind of its own awesome, unique thing that could maybe be like marketed as more, or like developed into more of that backcountry or adventure experience. But if we're looking for the bell curve, like maybe the solution to that would be to focus more on the the barriers of the shoulder, like the feeling of safety with traffic to get to those traffic. So I think that.
Yeah, sorry, just going back to the challenge, just to ask that question. I think in addition to the road width safety line, I think that initial climb is a deterrent to your casual biker. I think people, that have that fitness level or experience can do that climb. But you look at e-bikes, and I look at it as like e-bike access to potentially limit traffic, right? Like you look at Zion, they have infrastructure around that. But that initial climb is going to be a challenge.
There's a comment online to ask, so maybe this is two parts. Could we do both? Can there be a backcountry and a kind of shoulder?
Yeah.
But Dave online just asked, really, he said probably the biggest bang for the buck is to enlarge the shoulders on the main paved road.
And enlarge the shoulders, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's actually a good point, is we're not looking at necessarily only one option here. We are kind of looking at like, what's our suite of options and what's the yes and kind of idea. So, yeah.
And I think just to hold this discussion a little bit with this group, Maddie touched on it, and Patrick touched on it. And I think the question for the Trailmix committee is who are these users? Who are we trying to cater to? Who are the people that we want to give bike access? I mean, there already is bike access through Willow Springs and Arches. It's something that's probably written. That's something, do we want to focus on that, that part of it being that backcountry experience, or do we want the masses being able to access, Arches National Park, or from, the state park, and especially, e-bikes with everything, e-bikes come up at every single Trailmix meeting, and they've changed the whole conversation. That 35-mile loop is well within the range capacity of e-bikes today. So that's my question to you. Does anyone want to touch on that? Who do we want to have bike access into Arches? Who are we trying to cater to with this project? This initiative?
Just a couple other things. Some meetings that were missed. We also went with the National Park Service out to San Juan County and looked at some of the polymers that they're using inside of their dirt roads to make a hardened trail that would end up going along those roads. So that was one of the things that we looked at, as well as, what could we do to actually harden a bike trail along the Willow Springs that might be able to stand up to the washers and things like that. So that's been explored. And I think the other thing that I would think that would be important is I think that we want to keep in mind connectivity, right? Like, the ultimate goal I would see is to have a trail system that's completely connected, right? So if you could ride from Moab into Arches, do some type of loop, and then come back out. And the question that I really come to, because I actually like both of the ideas myself, whether we start at Willow Springs and just continue the connectivity, basically, because there will be that section from basically Highway 313 going to airport that is scheduled to be completed. Do we continue the connectivity basically in a linear module, or do we put a carrot out in the center of the park, right? That's, here's this bike path, and then we build in towards that connectivity. For me, that was really kind of the way that the discussion went, right? Because I think that both of them are great ideas. It's just which way do we want to start? Or do we want to, come up with a full plan and say, hey, this is the whole plan, but we think this is phase 1, this would be phase 2, and this would be phase 3.
Yeah, so let's dig into that. Like, what experience do you think people would be interested in having? Like, what is that? What are people looking for?
I was gonna say, I think going back to the concept, all user groups are gonna want good. I mean, you look at the bike path, and you're on the bike path, and you're seeing older people on the e-bikes. You're seeing people who are kitted up, trying to get in a lot of miles. You have every user group, and I think if there was like a good road to up the Arches switchbacks, you'd see people on e-bikes climbing that road to get up to those views. I think they're not limited to one user group. I think you see everybody on the bike path, but it's a natural branch off the token for the park.
In these discussions, has there been talked about, or is there the possibility of bike path separate from switchbacks?
The sense is that that's really, really difficult, really expensive, and they're wilderness.
It's all proposed wilderness.
So there are some major stumbling blocks. If we want to think really big picture, like, exciting stuff on down, I think maybe that's a phase 3 or phase 4. If people are like, no, we really have this, maybe that's something we should look into. Right now, we're like that. It's a lot harder than ask.
I just see all user groups, including children.
Yeah.
And then children on.
It's just. Yeah.
And that, Anna, to your point, and also to Brian's, and the experience of this group is that, when we spent 10 years building little nodes of trails and now are in the process of trying to connect those, it's really the, to me, it's the, not letting perfection get in the way of progress. And I think, Brian, the ultimate goal you're asking, right, is connectivity and, to be able to connect that loop. But right now it is connected, it's not well connected, it's not safely connected, via sections, and also not, maintained as it would be connected, in terms of the Willow Springs Road. But I think in my opinion, and to answer your question, Brian, I think that if we can start with some low hanging fruit, like a separated path in Arches, I think that will absolutely be a destination. I think the people who can ride up those switchbacks and feel safe doing so will ride up and fully appreciate, being able to get off the road once they get up to the LaSalle, viewpoint. But I think also, what we're seeing on the bike path and what we're seeing at Lions Park, you go to Lions Park any afternoon in the spring and fall, and that place is absolutely bumping. And it is just like, it's overflowing with people who have who've driven there with their bikes and who are getting their bikes off and riding up the river road or riding up the pathway. And so I truly believe that, if there is a big enough parking area, that people will drive up their bikes, and the people who aren't capable of riding up or safely riding up the switchbacks or aren't capable of the distance of coming in the Willow Springs Road will drive bikes up and want to have that physical, bike riding outdoor Arches experience.
One of the other questions.
It makes sense to send people to the front too. I would think about infrastructure and safety. I would be very hesitant the way things stand now to send people to Willow Springs, where there's no services, no infrastructure, no water, it's very different than riding along a well-traveled road. You're a well-traveled road as far as safety, rescue concerns. I mean, we know you can tell people to prepare and warn people till the cows come home, but you still get folks who are wildly prepared for what we have out here. So, yeah.
Last guy to introduce himself.
Yeah, exactly. I'm speaking on behalf of behind me here.
Sorry.
But yeah, I would be like real hesitant to be like, take your e-bike and ride on the road at Willow Springs right now.
Maybe that's the best argument for keeping that primitive and developing it in a
At least as far as infrastructure goes right now, because we are very far away from services and assistance.
Have your
gonna
hand
say-
and then your hand. Yeah.
A lot of the people we rent bikes to.
Yep.
And they e-bikes, I guess. Kind of a genre of people who don't really bike a lot.
Yep. Yeah.
Very experienced. So not having, and they want to bike from town. A lot of them don't have access to carry their vehicles somewhere. They don't have vehicles. They're all renting vehicles. So they can actually bike from town. You don't bike up some way in their courses.
Do you see if LaSalle viewpoint was sort of like a starting point for people to go on e-bikes? Do you see outfitters?
I don't think they'd be able to get them there.
You don't
A
think so?
lot of the people that we rent to won't be able to. They need to ride from the shop in town.
One of the questions from the working group for you guys was, do you think that outfitters would be interested in picking up that service? So if the park was to offer up either a concessionaire or a CUA type of service for us, is that something that local bike shops would be interested in saying, yeah, I'd love to run that service where we run, 10 folks and bikes up to the south, ride around through the day.
Yeah. Having like a separate service or having the bike shops go?
But it's just a question, I mean, it's not planned or anything like that. It's just a question is that something that private business basically would want to pick up, or
Yeah.
is it something that the park should plan on? I mean, I'm just putting all types of.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we would do it if we could, if we could get permits to do that, for sure. That would greatly help our business. Because I think more people want more bike paths to ride.
Mhm.
And it needs to be for families too, like kids, trailers, things like that.
I'm just curious, again, is there discussion about expanding parking lot for that solving plan for these little hubs to support?
It's all part of the conversation if we're yeah, that ends up being a trailhead, like all of the nights. That doesn't get a whole lot of use now, would that be enough, or is that like, like, I think we're just trying to get a sense for what people are to do. If it's something where outfitters bring people up from town, drop them off, right, then we wouldn't necessarily be parking, but, yeah, we're just exploring. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
People who rode into Arches, who didn't get, say, dropped off, would they be going through the same kiosk line as everyone else?
Yeah, through the, yeah.
I can just imagine, like, I wouldn't want to sit on a bike in the fumes of a bunch of cars idling
Yeah,
for like 30 minutes.
yeah, that would be another component, yeah.
So I think that'd be a deterrent. I think
You
that
can
when
ride
you
in.
drive to Arches, you
Yeah,
take
there's
the
separate
bike
bike
out
lanes.
and then you go to the visitors lane.
You
So
can
you,
bike.
that's how you get in. Yeah, you can skip within the class. Never had an issue.
Yeah, let's say the same thing. If
It's already there.
we did bypass.
It's already there.
Yeah, I think that would be key for people actually using that. So you can definitely, and that making sure people do that.
We raised the issue of getting bikes to South Mobile to some insurance sites. And then just the possibility of where city high school thing, and like, stock and checking the bike. Getting up the streets. I mean, it's coming down on the bike rack. Wanting to ride e-bikes, they're heavy. So don't have that in place. It would be so like that somebody's driving to town, having a bike rack, coming with their own gear, and that limits people's use.
Yeah, so for this meeting, I reached out to Kenny, who was Bighorn, and was the concessionaire at Dead Horse. And so he's actually to work with just the dynamics of getting employees up to Dead Horse and to rent bikes and not having somebody, stationed there throughout the day, sitting outside of that little cabin up there. He's actually come up with a sort of automated check back in system that works just really efficiently. So I think there is very efficient for somebody, to set up a little concessionary office where somebody can. And I mean, think about the in-town bike rental systems that are, out there right now with a phone app. People could pull in, even if they didn't drag bikes up the hill, pull in, rent a couple of county e-bikes and go out. And they come back in, like on the rack, and they'll charge you. So there's definitely, I know if you go today, so we'll mention.
Yeah, is that like, if people are biking in the park, are they doing it just for the love of biking in the park? Is that an active experience? Or are they going there because they want to get to an arch or like to rent a key, like to the windows or something? Like, do you have any sense to what people might want?
Yeah, I've noticed that people are not like biking into the park to then go hiking. People are biking in the park to go bike around in the park. And a lot of locals, like a lot of us here, bike into the park just for exercise, and it's really beautiful. It's a really nice ride, actually. But most visitors that are biking in the park, yes, I've not really seen any that are like, I'm going to bike over to Wolf Ranch and hike to Delicate Arch. That just doesn't really happen. I don't think that even if we were to build a bike path, in theory, from LaSalle Overlook to Balanced Rock, I don't think people are going to be doing that and being like, all right, sweet, now I'm going to go bike to Windows and go hiking. I think it still would be for the experience of biking in the park solely. Kind of like it's different at Zion, where they have a system like that, but also Springdale is right there. You can see it from the entrance booth. It's not like 4 miles down the road like Moab is. So it is different.
Yeah.
Well, rental might change that a little bit. I didn't plan on like close speed, like there's this kind of really
yeah, the bike path is great.
But it's also bike share program or something like that. I personally I think because I think it's like when I'm in the city, like a top of home place, how about like
that opportunist.
Yeah, I see, just from our experience, no matter how much information there is, people assuming that this is a safe endeavor. they'll be able to get from windows to delicate to back, all in one day, do it all in one day, and get it over their head. So I see it as like waiting for the potential that Nick is mentioning. There might be more of a, we can do this all day for repairs, but we're trying to get like mitigating for that.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot and, you know, with Willow Springs Road and like she was saying, it's remote, there's no shade, there's no water, like people can get out there and get a situation with it. So, yeah, what are we marketing? And what infrastructure do we have?
Going off of like, I think what it might be in the future is I'm hearing first thing to do is maybe to build the hubs, because people with vehicles today enjoy or would want a hub at LPX water or with simple systems. And then build your system from there, but the hubs will be utilized regardless, because there will also be a preventative measure already in place with the system. Build and market the hubs first.
Yeah.
Because we probably just have a few more minutes. I'm wondering though, if to continue the conversation, obviously we can continue chatting with it with Trail Mix, and I'm sure there's some final comments. Like I said, we have a few more minutes, but what is going to happen? What is the next steps? Can you just talk to us about what that looks like and how we can be involved?
Yeah, so right now we're kind of like exploring these options. I think we're gonna put together, hopefully, or yes, like a suite of recommendations. You know, what Willow Springs Road might look like, what some infrastructure in the park might look like, what supportive infrastructure do we need, what education would be needed. And so hopefully put together that kind of action plan or kind of business. And then, you know, the Park Service would have its own like planning, permissions that they have to go through. So that would be like further on down the line, but we're hoping that this group that we have of locals who can kind of like agree, like, yeah, we think this is a good path forward, and then they can submit that to change. This is. I mean, I don't have a timeline. I don't know how long that will be. But I would love, like, if you're like thinking about this and you come up with an idea later and you want to talk about it, if I can leave my email.
Yeah, certainly.
And then like this email, that's really, hey, there's something else here.
I just want to reiterate that I think it's really important to get the efforts that like shots involved.
Yeah.
And have them access really good presentation.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're with like maybe so you're a local. So I would love to talk to more about this. Hi. So we can like yeah. Sorry, he had his hand up and then we go.
So how many questions you got? I just chime in. So right now, when we get people reaching out to us, we discourage them from going into ours. The only outlet is to park at the Angel Arch Overlook Trail. Sorry, the Delicate Arch Overlook Trail. And you got to get in there at 6:30 or 7 and however a bunch of parking spots. Then they put the horse into a salt marsh. And that is a quicksand nightmare. Every time they go in there, they swallow the horses up. We've had some major problems there. But there would be people very interested in accessing from the back entrance to the park and riding some of that. It could be opened up. Riding a horse alongside a busy road full of campers has zero appeal to anybody. And the reason you don't see the volumes, I would be discouraged it solely over logistics. And later on, I kind of like to discuss the Utah Raptors involved in that.
But potentially, Stephen, Willow Springs, alongside Willow Springs could be.
It would be ideal. Wonderful set up right now.
Yeah.
And the challenge is the avoidance of being able to let pedestrians use the You tell that for years after this.
That's great. That's really good. Yeah.
I have operated bike shop in town as well. We have tons of customers that come in and do ride in Arches and have a pretty good time. Traffic is always the number one thing that they don't like.
Yeah.
And it is 99 when that's the time people riding in just to experience the park. They're not hiking. We have a number of people that do Willow Springs like with the pavement. People enjoy that because they like the primitive and not.
They're doing the full from.
Yeah, going either out the park and then actually through Willow Springs and vice versa, and single track. Yeah, I think just traffic is the number one issue. I think having a session, like there's just one vendor that gets that like permit and that hurts in town, like history in town a little bit. You can get a lot more good info out to people. Like we don't usually tell people to go past balance shop, right to balance shop. For that.
Any last?
I've got a question. Yeah, we were going back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's this new thing that's happening in town with the shuttle going in the park.
Yeah.
I guess the question is not to Brian. Are there bike racks in the shuttle?
It was one of the requirements, yes. And so we have
Enough to like have this type of load of bikes.
I'm not sure about, we didn't consider that as one of the stops, but it was one of the requirements was, is that an option you can provide bike racks? So the system will have that available, but will it be able to service this or how that would work out in the future? I don't know. But I did actually have a question for Betsy real quick. One of the things I think that we should be looking at is the, since our last meeting, is the Great America Outdoors Act coming in for 2027. And seeing if this infrastructure project right here would fit inside of that, because we should probably start going and talking. Having some basic plans kind of drawn up, if this is, an entire plan that we want. And then maybe just presenting the whole thing. Hey, here's the whole suite of options that we have. These are our priorities. And seeing where it's going.
And I think that's just maybe a good way to kind of more hands up. So it won't be my last thought, but for funding, there are some options that are like GAOA funding or, fundraising through the National Park Foundation. We also have some great opportunities with our state partners at the Division of Outdoor Recreation. So yeah, I think there's a lot of, we are thinking about that as we're thinking through this, like where we get this funding. So I got you and then I got you.
Just gonna mention that I think like all of the visitors driving in the park would also appreciate there being more like bike lane or bike path. So it'd be good for them and the riders and locals would love to have more like reason for to ride in there and not have to deal with that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was just wondering, is there any update on the Cape Pasco? Well,
Yes, soon. Yes, it just passed through the commission for the final work last meeting, I believe.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Betsy, for coming and chatting with us. We gave you lots of feedback.
And I welcome more if you have more thoughts.
I'll send out your contact to everybody and thank you so much. Let's give Betsy and the whole NPS team a round of applause for coming here. Thank you. Like I said, we've been chatting about this for a long time, so we're excited to.
I didn't get them a chance to talk about Gravel Guide. Do you want to?
Yeah, they're next on the agenda. So, Al, got a few minutes just to chat about the Gravel Guide and what y'all are up to.
Yeah, so everyone here probably knows how trendy and popular gravel bikes are becoming, especially gravel bikes that are like a step down from mountain biking instead of a step up. And so that type of gravel biking is really popular in our area and can be really popular. So we're working on a gravel adventure field guide. Some of you have probably seen these. They're pretty small. We'll have 11 routes and 2 of them will touch the national parks. So one of them will be that from town up to Utah Raptor, across Willow Springs and back down to Arches. And then another will be in so you'll be able to track, we'll have all of these in the book. They'll link to ride with GPS routes and they'll do QR codes. So we'll be able to track how many people are scanning those. And then hopefully see people who are riding them. And we're printing 24,000 copies. They'll be distributed to all of our MOA bike shops to hand out for free.
And then they'll also be distributed in 130 shops across the country, in Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and some out to Chicago and Boston and others.
Awesome.
Happy to answer any questions. They'll print in about 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it'll be a good test of like encouraging people to try something new in their motor, encouraging them to stay for a while, to do something new and exciting, and then also being able to start tracking how many people are interested in going, especially doing.
That's cool.
Is it self-published or are you working with a company?
No, it's the company. So the company is called Gravel Culture.
Gravel
Yeah. And they've created maybe 20 other ones, and it's in a lot of our competitors. So like, yeah, Evansville.
If you could speak just a little louder,
yeah.
our people online are particularly interested in this topic.
Yeah. Yeah. So our competitors have these two, like Fruta and Bentonville, a few other destinations, and we really are seeing people, you know, like plan trips around these books so that they can try new routes.
And that will be published, you said, here pretty soon?
Super soon.
Wow,
Yeah,
cool.
within the next month.
When it is published, if you just send me a link so I can send it out to everybody.
Absolutely.
With everything.
Yeah, it will, again, like distribute them around to bike shops, and we'll have an event and making pages and things like that.
Cool.
Yes, so it will be available, to like buy online. Yeah, and then all of the routes and everything, and the photos that we take and all the media that we create around it will also be available to bike shops to use for free. So there'll be no like copyright issues, and we'd love to too.
And I only talked about it once going to park. The rest of them are.
Yes, yes, accumulate listed in the left too, to make sure that all the routes are okay and then they're fine.
That's exciting. Awesome. Maddie.
Remember I mentioned before, but all trails also.
Yeah, totally. Set up this. Yeah, cool. Speaking of that. Yeah, the kind of golden use of tourism data is where people go. And usually that is tracked through cell phone data, but we don't have a lot of cell coverage here, so we have to do it.
Discover Moab needs updated mountain bike trail maps like yesterday.
Yeah, definitely.
So that would be awesome.
Yeah, there are only 2 of us in our office.
Copy.
So if anybody has resources that they want updated, just send them to us.
Okay.
Because we don't have
I
capacity
don't-
to create new maps or things like that.
I will start a conversation because some of these are extremely outdated.
Yeah, totally.
These two in the BLM just recently, there were the race trail maps, they asked us to put them down. And she put links to 2 Amazon maps for that reason, but they didn't provide current information. So the website is migrated this year. It's been on 800 pages. It's really a content integration. We should think about how to make and maximize content. So whether that's telling someone to the information center or telling someone to go to a bike shop, I'm happy to post stuff online. The issue with that is just maintaining that for you. Because in a few years, somebody else is going to face it. Right? So we want to find sustainable ways to get accurate.
Right now, that's kind of the only place that maps are available online, aside from going to like Strava or Trailforks, which for the non-educated rider, it's I think hard for them to find all this stuff rather than just going and seeing the trail maps. It also, I think, helps prepare riders when they get here, when they have a chance to look at the exact trail map before they get here. So just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have like, this is going to be so great, and then it doesn't get used.
Okay.
Make sure that the traffic that we want, that it might be the quicker resource for a visitor, but you're not finding it because
Yeah.
so we should connect.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd like to start that conversation.
We should bounce people to the places that they commonly go to find trail maps, so like All Trails, Strava, Trailworks. But if you're finding that people are often being routed to other states.
I route people to your site. I own a whole enchilada shuttle company. So, I've got trail maps in my vans for people to look at on the way up, but people ask about the trails prior to coming and being able to direct them to a place.
Yeah.
Thank you, Allie. A ton. I'm really excited to see these when it comes out, and thanks for staying. As many of you know, especially with more distracted drivers, the popularity has moved to gravel, away from roads where people are getting hit, and to gravel where they're just going to fall down on their own and not get hit, hopefully. So, so thank you. This is really important. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you to both of you, Nick and Allie. Thank you. All right, we are going to just scooch around just a little bit some of these discussion items because I think all the NICA folks are here. This is the next discussion item is regarding the brand's parking potential expansion for NICA races, etc. And for that, we're going to turn it over to Colin.
Is this on the agenda as a action item?
It's on a discussion and action item, yes.
Right, so we could potentially.
So we want to discuss it first and then have an action item of voting.
So, what I'm gonna be talking about is, I'm
I will
going
once
to
it comes to
ask
the vote.
and ask that the Trail Mix Committee, recommends that the commission, writes a letter to ELM asking for a couple times a year to have a temporary expansion to the brand's parking area so that the brands can host NICA races, in addition to Mud Springs. So backing up, so I think a lot of you know that I'm Colin Topper. I coached the NICA team for a long time. We've got a bunch of NICA riders here. I'm also a parent. I raised a kid through the NICA program. I have a kid currently in the NICA program. So I am completely biased. But you don't have to take my word for it. NICA high school mountain biking is the largest and continues to be the fastest growing sport in the state of Utah. The state of Utah is 25% of the National League. It is so dominant, and it's not an exaggeration to say that high school mountain biking, that NICA has actually changed the political landscape in Utah. I mean, NICA has a list of small rural Utah communities that are on this list just waiting to have a NICA course built. These are communities that historically have looked at their public lands as having no real economic value to those communities. And if you put a little, 6-mile ribbon of dirt with enough parking, you can attract a NICA race that will bring in literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, an anecdotal story, when I was coaching Richfield, Utah, got in line, they wanted to build a NICA course because they're seeing all these other places build these NICA courses and attract thousands and thousands of people. And so we got to go race this first year Richfield Utah course. It was the cutest thing ever, where like the mayor and the entire city council was out and they did a ribbon cutting. The town ran out of food that weekend. They had no idea what they were actually attracting. And since then, they've built a corrupt trail system, which is depending on who you ask, out competing Moab. Like, they have fully embraced mountain biking, and it has been, when Smithfield Farms left Richfield, there was a huge economic downturn in Richfield. Richfield is now ranked. Richfield is developing, like it's a wonderful, like, vibrant community again. As I still and that is on BLM. Yes, and Forest Service and the new trail system. But in spite of all this, every year at the end of the year, NICA polls its parents, coaches, and riders on giving them feedback on how they can improve the program. And every single year, without fail, the number one comment they get, what do you think the number one comment they get? We want to race in Moab. And we haven't had a race here in 7 years. Or is that what it is? 5 years? Maybe 5 years? Because of a couple things that have happened out at the brands. And the most important thing is the parking situation.
They were parking people across the street and busing them across the street, which was terribly dangerous. The landowner across the street was double charging them. The people who were parking there. It was a total disaster. And so, like I said, we can't really turn it on. Fast forward a little bit, Maddie and her crew and the Trail Mix Committee, we now have this amazing venue south of town, Mud Springs, and this whole proposal isn't meant to take anything away from Mud Springs. Mud Springs is going to be an absolutely amazing race venue. NICA loves it. The entire setup. There are 2 races scheduled for there this fall. More importantly, because of the way Mud Springs was built, like one of our leagues is going to have 2 adaptive riders racing there this fall. It's amazing. What Mud Springs is going to be absolutely amazing. The league, though, is saying to us, we will come down to Moab as many times as we can. The league now has 6 different regions. And if all 6 of those regions could come down to Moab and race at different courses, they absolutely would. If we could host a state race out at Mud Springs, they absolutely would. And so, and then, you know, Mud Springs absolutely is, especially in its early stages, it has some challenges. If we have a really wet October, Mud Springs is going to be very challenging, and having a backup course would be very beneficial. So again, this is not to take away from anything. This is to add opportunity for this amazing program. So again, it's a very small ask. I think Lucas has made maps, but we're asking what's the acreage?
It's just like 4.5 acres.
So we're asking for a temporary opening of 4.5 acres that will be NICA's responsibility to open, to fence, to have traffic control in there, traffic attendants, and then to clean and remediate the impacts that they can. And NICA has a very good track record of being land stewards. I mean, these kids who are all sitting here today, you know, part of their program is you know, trail stewardship. They've worked with Steward Moab, they've worked with Trail Mix, they've built a lot of the Mud Springs sports. These kids have given back to this community. They've earned their keep. They've earned their seat at this table for sure. So NICA's great steward. You know, there's also, this could be the future of other other organizations and events benefiting hugely from this. You know, Outer Bike is a great example. I think that's why Brenda can't speak up here. Outer Bike would benefit hugely from having a parking lot extension if that were ever extended to them. Yes.
Dave was telling us about the mayhem of the combined, the race in the spring. Why is it Trans Rocky, Moab Rocks, and etc. And which I spoke with one of the organizers. They would like to keep that a combined event going forward. And so
keep it a combined event. So there is other potential outside of NICA for this. If we were ever to go from, you know, either extending the opportunity for more temporary extending the parking lots, or to actually making it a permanent extension.
Hey, trail run, there's 2 events out there that they all park across that road in the ass, like I said, to come across that tunnel. So the 2 running events that take advantage of RM would love, absolutely love to take
Thank you,
part. I've been out there for those events, and it's just like, what are you talking? It's just a joke.
No, he would. Okay, so back to NICA. So there is so much opportunity here. Yes,
I would love to just advocate for that, you know, and stuff. Over the past however many years that there were NICA races out there, our company's kind of done those shuttles and has done the shuttles from, you know, the 7 Mile campground or whatever it's called now across the street. And in the last year, and I don't want to throw the water bottles at your stuff, but we told NICA, like I've been working with Michelle, you know, Lyman and all those guys. I was like, we're out. We're not doing this anymore. Like we can't bus people across the street. It was like playing Frogger, you know. And in the last year, we demanded that there be 2 highway patrolmen on each side with their lights on, you know, to try to slow traffic down. And it wasn't working, you know. And so Michelle called me, I don't know, probably 7 months ago. It was the same thing, like, hey, this is the #1 request we get. You know, we want to do a race at RM. We can't do it unless we have shuttles across the street, you know, and stuff. And would you guys do it? And I was like, no. You know, it's not safe. You know, it's not a safe endeavor, and we can do it. the liability of how that traffic works there and stuff. So I would like to advocate for this, that this is a great way to, fix this problem. We don't mind not having cases.
So the last two things I'll say before we open this up to further discussion. One, the area that's being proposed is the area between the parking lot on the south end of the parking lot and the highway. So this is a heavily impacted area. When I was out there with NICA this spring, we were talking about this, and I was talking about all the, the challenges associated with, making this happen. And as we're talking about this, we're looking at several cows that are just like on the other side of the fence where we're proposing to put cars. So this area is already, it's heavily impacted. And then, again, the economic piece, each one of these regions brings about 1,500 riders to a race. It's concentrated to that venue. Each one of these riders comes with, their families, their friends, this is hotels, this is restaurants, this is people who are then renting equipment in town. The economic impact is, in my mind, one of the best because it's an event and it's a lot of it is concentrated in town, in terms of hotels and restaurants, and then, one venue rather than spreading people out. And then the last thing that I'll say is, look right over here. We have this table of amazing young people that I know very well.
Okay.
And I can honestly say that before these young people, before NICA came into their life, every one of those young people right there were headed down the wrong path. The best for them would have been, life or probably crime, maybe prison, maybe on the streets. But because NICA came into their life, I can honestly say that these young people are going to be something. They're going to achieve. And this is all because of NICA. And they're here to answer questions. And so if you have any questions about their experience and why they've taken time out of their busy days, their work schedules to be here to answer these questions, please do put them on the spot, make them really uncomfortable. But yeah, now what kind of questions or comments do you have? Let's open this up because, it might bring more weight down the focus.
I was thinking, why is there a temporary expansion and not a permanent expansion?
Ultimately, we would love a permanent expansion, but it seems like a temporary expansion, and that is a model that other venues on BLM land are using to make it work. But, yeah.
You wouldn't believe the gravel. So it's like a vent that you're asking for.
Okay, we're asking for a vent park.
What that, you not something designed or bigger the parking lot more complete. So make it too big on the other side.
Well, and that's certainly, I don't think that the in current state that the Rams parking area on a normal day is ever at capacity. So I mean, it's current size. And again, there's another benefit of just the temporary parking cut out. NICA has very specific, through its experience, guidelines on exactly the acreage that they need. What's that? Oh, there's a great idea, right?
Just to comment to that, I learned this in Kate, I don't know if I'm wrong, but so for most trailheads in the area, like mountain bike trails, they're estimated based on expected use, but the translator in particular, that was the impact area for private.
For example, towards gravel and heavy equipment. So you got actually flattened that and made that parking lot. It was the staging area.
So it's actually 3 acres, I think, the size, so this would be a little bit more than double. But I guess to your point, like it's currently 3 acres and I haven't ever seen it.
It gets pretty full. It's spring and fall busy weekends.
There was another possibility of this to expand
For NICA? No, because NICA is very good about, they keep just bringing that into further. That's it. That's been their standard ask for parking for
Investigate Stella.
So that's a great question. And so Sitla has actually been investigated. So those of you who don't know, when you drive in, I believe the whole bar and truck wagon is Sitla land. And it's currently leased to somebody who's completely unresponsive. You don't remember a number of years back, they went out and they drilled a bunch of test wells to try to find water so they could develop a like a resort out there. They weren't able to find water, probably great for us. But they have not been responsive. And also, you know, the whole idea of, you know, it's Sitla, it's leased. That will never be a sustainable solution. And then there's the liability. And yeah, this would be the most, you know, immediate sustainable.
Because the man is feeling my understanding correctly, that the fashion makes it.
Sure. We'll have 30 minutes for this one question.
I guess you're getting the whole can of worms there.
I'm just saying, because we've got-
You know how well that could be there.
All right, so everyone with time, we're gonna have to move this. It goes to action items. So just to be really clear, and Colin mentioned, I have to recuse myself, potentially that we are just talking NICA, but potentially for other events, so I'm going to have, Samantha lead us through the action items, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah. To a motion, can you ask them some questions?
Yes, please.
Yes, come here. Why do you think it's important to expand access? What do you find out?
I only raced there once, like 5 years ago. It was my first year doing NICA. And it was a really good course. It was super fun to have one like really close to us. Most of the time you have to drive at least like 5 hours just to get to any of the other ones in the state. And yeah, even when we're at other races, when people realize we're from, or like see that we're from Moab, they're like talking about how they wish they could race there. And yeah, it seems like it's a popular.
Diesel?
For me, as a rider and as an athlete, I've had lots of friends from all different regions and places. And just talking to them, they're always like, we want to have a race at Bar M, because people come down here and they ride at Bar M all the time. It's super famous. It's like an iconic Moab area, and they want to do some techie stuff and some mountain biking, because our other courses are all really smooth and really fast. And so it's fun to have like a variety of courses. Anyway, so they're always asking, why do we not have a race at Bar M? Like, we want one. And I think it'd be cool to do that. I also think just the Mud Springs course, I love Mud Springs, but I am worried about all the fast people. I feel like it could be so dangerous, because once you get like all the varsity boys going so fast, they could just like one wrong move and they just slide out and like fall down that cliff, because they're just going so fast around the berms and there's not really very much passing. And so I do worry about it being kind of dangerous, and the brands, the techie stuff really slows you down. But yeah, I do love Mud Springs.
The scouting troop, I mean, obviously that's been talking about. Would it take, would it take heavy equipment to have people park there?
I don't think so at all. Yeah.
The parking, I mean,
That's what the people are gonna ask. Is that, you know,
yeah, so it's when you pull in the parking lot on the right before you pass the gas, there's already like kind of a fence a little ways down, but it's mostly grass there. And when you come up the road, there's maybe a little bit of like that little, I don't know what kind of sage or brush it is, but most of it's already just grass.
So would the plan be to sort of like I've seen in different parking, you know, like ribbons laid out, like they do even at the rodeo, you know, where
Yeah.
park here.
Yeah, they come out the day before, they flag and fence everything, and then they have to park.
Yeah, I would envision with the permit that we can go out, like, and just do like some kind of like little permanent corner mark or something, like, so they know where to set the fence.
So the proposal for the BLM, which is like what sort of setup.
Yeah, okay, yes.
I have a question. So is this going to be just for parking, or is it going to be parking and camping?
There is no family there.
Just parking.
Just
Yeah.
parking.
And
Okay.
that's another thing that Mud Springs is gonna be so amazing, you know, this can't compete with Mud Springs on so many levels, and Mud Springs can't compete with the brands at some levels. And Mud Springs will have camping plentiful, Brad will benefit massively.
So like send them all my way, we can work something.
Yes, you do.
And we're close.
Two more quick questions. And then one, so possibility is we could have 2 races here then in Moab?
Brian, they've said, they,
More.
Oh, I'm saying, no, our team could have 2 races.
absolutely, our team could
Oh,
have
yeah.
Mud Springs and a Brands race in one season.
Yeah, and then the last question is will this help us bring home state again?
Yeah. Okay, you wanna,
All right, we gotta keep going. It's quarter after
We have a motion?
noon. We have a motion, so unless there's any really quick final things, okay, great. Any,
Restate the motion clearly.
the motion is to expand the Bar M trailhead for, Bar M parking, for events.
You need the motion restated by a member.
Yeah, I think it can be
Okay.
revised a little bit.
Okay.
Not to fill, to allow.
And it's also to write a letter to the commission to that, because we don't, write directly to the BLM, we would write to the commission, they would vote on whether.
We're recommending it to the commission to allow expanded parking for special events. How does that sound to you, Katie? Okay.
And I'm management of something.
With management of said parking being responsible.
Okay.
Sorry, top of my head. I know that another piece of feedback we've gotten about the races that, the night races at the ranch in the past are like, management for all of the spectators. Would it be possible, and maybe this is a separate thing, but if there's, a proposal to open up future events, could there also be like a temporary trail access? Things that people, so that they're not just like all going across.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a, like, pathway, not constructed, but like, here's your purpose.
Yeah, that's, just fundamented.
I don't, that would actually, I think, be part of my permit.
There
I
you
think it does, has to be on the. Just say that they'll try and get these issues.
Okay, no, I'm writing it down so that I can read it back to you guys.
While Samantha's writing this out, hopefully I'm not distracting her. And I've mentioned this before, since NICA is growing so fast, we'll probably end up seeing another region here in the next year or two. And I know they're adding a lower grade level in the future, hopefully. I think that if these schools really want to race in Moab, NICA really needs to take a look at limiting the number of participants that come to Moab. Maybe it be either through an invitational or just the senior levels and not the Devo groups that race. That would still bring a lot of money into town, and we may be able to accommodate them with parking and all that other stuff. So just putting that out there again as a kind of a reminder that there's still potential without having to make a lot of sacrifices with infrastructure.
Or maybe show where some of the spectators not across the road.
Yep.
You know, where I don't know what.
Okay. So we've got a motion to send a letter to Grand County Commission recommending the expansion of the brand's parking area for events to be managed by the event holder. Great. Anyone second that motion? Great. All in favor? Does Matt need to recuse himself?
Yeah.
Okay, and then anyone opposed? And Brendan recuses himself for the record. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, it's passed. Thanks, NICA kids. We really hope that you stay out of jail. Way to go.
Back to your jobs.
Okay, we have a whole lot to cover in the last little time. So, but you all, hey, NICA kid, you can stick around, but also it's kind of boring stuff, but you also can stick around too. You're welcome. Just don't go out and commit any crimes. Okay, apparently, according to what Colin said. That's it for action items. Yep, that's it.
It's just too hot.
Yeah, let's just, why don't we just skip what, if you're rolling, do you have anything for hiking?
No, but I, as usual, wanted to ask if there's anything, obviously it's like real hot right now, and we're about, Arthur's surgery is next week, so we're gonna be gone for a few weeks at the Lehigh. But come August, we'll be back, ready to go. If there's stuff you want us to go check out, check out painting and stuff, just give us a cool.
Thanks, Kaya.
Probably nothing in the desert. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. Thanks, Kaya.
Okay,
Good luck.
Maddie can have 5 minutes. Everyone else gets 2.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, NICA kids.
All right, Maddie, you got 5 minutes. Everyone else has 2. So.
Okay, watch it. I keep it pretty quick. So we started our summer field season. So come cruise up the mountains. This week they're up at the Kua Lake area, Clark Foreign, Michael. And so our scope this year is a bit more narrow than past years because instead of having just Forest Service funding, at the time we were planning, there was a lot of stuff going on in the federal government. So Hedge Our Vets, we applied for a grant and received that. And that grant scope is specific to restoration of infrastructure and specifically trails that were impacted by the Pack Creek Fire in 2021. So just so everyone knows, we're planning events, our crew is a little less flexible, has a more narrow scope of work with ourselves than in past years. Let's see, other than that, we've been going through applications and doing interviews for the OHB trail coordinator position. So we haven't made any offers yet, but that process is ongoing. And then we've just been chipping away at some longer term projects. The Mud Springs is even on that. There's a study item. So Mud Springs phase 1 and phase 2, some grant planning for the motorized trails program for next year. Boat ramp project that Betsy mentioned, which is the county city collaborative. And then hasn't been a whole lot of updates, I think, on a lot of the paved projects. But those are still happening in the background.
Thank you.
It's a great question. I've sent an email to the powers that be asking about traffic direction there, and I've not heard back yet.
I did see that.
I
just grabbed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually driven it. It was really soft when I drove it walked back. I wasn't sure if I would, but yeah, I was leaving and I was just curious and I went as far as I could and it went all the way through and it's great. And so
there were any fires?
No, I was in the morning. I snuck through. Like I said, it was really soft. I got iffy at one point, but my only question with that is, will they be completely closing off the highway entrance and will there be a sign on the highway directing people to turn there at the Pack Creek cutoff?
My understanding.
Yeah, when
Okay.
project's completed, that entrance will be closed. I just don't know, I don't have the information about when that transition's gonna happen and how.
Well, I think they said August 14th was their hard deadline at the last meeting.
Can we discuss before we move on to something else, Maddie? Can we chat about the next work opportunity for August / camping? Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
I know David is maybe involved with this potentially.
Evan and I spoke about it the other day, so we have a date. Spam call. We have a date on the calendar for August 22nd is a Saturday. And, we were assuming that folks wanted to do a camp out event to get
Camp out.
And I guess the decision would be, we were thinking people show up maybe mid-morning, work, and then the camp out is that Saturday night. If people feel excited about that, I think last year we had a lot of help with the logistics, making it an event.
Is that too close to the start of school?
No one is concerned.
I don't know.
Right around then.
The 20th.
Right.
Yeah.
They have no homework.
Right. Just throwing it out there.
So August 22nd, camp out up in LaSalle's, go do some trail work.
Actually, I could race that weekend, but then,
Oh, there is a race that weekend. There's an NICA race that weekend. Okay.
Overnight here.
What's that?
I thought.
I thought about
Actually,
it.
we have a race, so the next weekend would be free, but that's, yeah.
And Matt, to see if, Matt was going.
Is the 15th better?
Team,
I'd rather do ours.
I know, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're doing a team camp out on the 7th and 8th, so the 15th is free.
Let's
We
say,
just didn't want to do it that weekend because it's close to school starting, but
August 15th is before school. That sounds like it's maybe better for everyone.
let's say tentatively August 15th, and I'll have to confirm that staff is available, but.
Okay.
And then Evan is gonna be scouting for projects. We don't have a project picked out yet, which will then determine where everyone gets, but, we'll make that happen as soon as possible.
Great. And maybe ask him, we'll get a little flyer put together like you did last time. And David, I know you were involved with that. Maybe just getting it out there to everybody. The last year's camp out.
Last one, we did, we're gonna do.
Oh.
Forest Service.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Okay.
We're
5
gonna
minutes
be out of
up.
town this time.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I think everything else we can cover next one. BLM. Katie. Oh, yes, that was a discussion item on here. If you want to just cover it real quick.
So the rest of the fund signed.
Thank you. That's exciting.
There was a question from staff about whether we can call this.
The Rusty Spur Spur. I love it.
It's gonna need reviews.
Nice.
It's great. Girl loves it. Thank you for that. Anything else, Katie? Okay. Yeah, anything for BLM? Thank you. Okay, no Forest Service folks here, but how about Brad? You're here. Let's talk about State Park.
No surprise to anyone, we're definitely slow.
It's hot.
Between the heat, the fires, and the smoke. We've had quite a few cancellations, which I understand. We had some astro tourism that turns out you can't see a lot of stars when you're covered in smoke. But probably the coolest thing we're working on right now is a professor out of UCLA by the name of Koji, that him and his team are doing a dig at our cultural site. So that's going to be a 2-year project. We're specifically leaning into the Japanese side of that. So this weekend we did all the scanning. We don't know yet, but we might have found things for celery. So the project starts in September and it runs for 2 years.
Can visitors actually view the work in progress?
I say yes. That's awesome. I want to see it. Yes. We provided quite a few people out just for this.
There's a grant called the JAX grant. It's the Japanese American Finance Study grant. I think it's through NPS. I haven't looked at it in a few years, so I don't know what their funding status is. The last time I checked, it was $1 million per year nationwide. We have the pre-approved sites to go out to the site for funding. So if you have any, I'd rather do the state park or like the museum, but there's funding available to do like interviews and research, put together exhibits, build interpretive trails.
Can you say the name of that?
Yeah, it's called the JAX grant, JACS, and it's the Japanese American Confinement Site grant, I believe. That is off the top of my head, so like.
I'm impressed you're remembering this.
Well, I was pretty excited about a few years ago, but it was before the land exchange, so they're just like, no,
Mm,
no way.
awesome. Anything else, Brad? We're glad that you're here.
I'm very happy.
Oh, yeah, question for Brad.
So bad, quick history, when they were developing the Utah Raptor State Park, we had a lot of conversations, email, personal conversations and discussions here with trail mix about the possibility of putting a few spots that were equestrian and accessible in the park. At that time, we were completely denied. A anecdotal reason was given. At that time, the director who ran the construction phase of the park said that he had run a campground before with the state. They let horses stay there one night. The site stunk so bad they couldn't rent it for a month, which we, as horse people, find that incredible to believe. But anyways, not dissing you or national state parks, but it's a golden opportunity. Highway 191 takes the majority of people traveling with horses going from Texas, New Mexico. They're headed from Montana over to Oasis. If you just look at the highway, you'll see all the LP trailers moving, and they're looking for a place to overnight and run trails. It would be a minor upgrade. You don't have to put in 4 rails and watering troughs, just maybe a dumpster where they can pick up their own manure and get rid of it like they do at the arena. So I think if you really want to expand the possibility, we have several sites that we actually advertise on. We could gladly put your site on there if you could open up a couple of spots for the possibility. Trial run on to see how it goes, but it's a perfect setup. You're set up for big trailers, they can pull off, get in, spend the night, the morning you get up, trot around a little bit, get on and head toward, Montana line. Thank you for the consideration.
Yeah, thanks. That was great.
I mean, they're right here, go to the, road, but, so, I mean, that's a similar thing of what you're thinking of, right, Steve? Like
Yes.
we have a courthouse, or
No,
maybe
we
not
have
even as.
we have a courthouse that we developed. We funded a bunch of the corrals in there. It's across the street. There's only 2 dedicated camping areas. It's hard to find. It's yellow. I mean,
Right,
it's recreation.gov. So one simple sign on Highway 191 would suck in a bunch of those horse trailers. It
You
gives
should
you
ask-
more in the cool weather, but it's an option.
Great. Okay.
But you might want to look at that.
In my prior life, I managed a horse campground.
Huh?
Then you understand
Right.
the dry and
We could
scattered.
talk at length about the questions that I have, and I know we would need.
It's easy to do.
Cool. Sounds like the two of you got to chat after this meeting, but thank you. Appreciate it. Brad, thanks for being here. Sam, I know we've heard a lot from MPS, but do you have anything else to cover? Anything for us?
Not too much. Pretty much the only updates are Arches visitor use management. We started using tablets to help scan passes ahead of the entrance booth, which helped out. It reduced wait time by like 30%. And then we're just monitoring to see what visitor use is like with how time to entry. At the end of the year, we'll kind of compile all that data, everything that we're kind of collecting, and get a report back. And then the other thing is just the Babylon fire. Neal district is closed with all backcountry permits, everything for that district up until July 31st. We have 4 employees out that are assigned to the Babylon fire right now. I just got back from a fire roll. I was gone for 16 days on that. Besides that, not too much. I'll
Okay.
give you updates.
That was a lot. So we're glad that we're hoping that we're so glad you're here, and we're hoping that we see things improve with the fires. And we're sorry, and thank you. Thanks for working on it all.
Oh, we did. The White Rim Gate is operational now as well, and it's just latched closed. Never going to be locked, but there is a latch on the bottom of Schaefer going on to White Rim, and so it's pretty user friendly. But you just need to remember to close the gate behind you now.
Thank you for doing that. Sounds like, according to our guides, it's definitely going to be helpful. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, a lot of that just came from the guiding community where they're like, we think you guys should do this. And after 6 years of talking about it, we did.
We're in it. Yeah, great job. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Jacques was not able to be here. He's traveling. Patrick.
Yeah. There's a couple ongoing projects, the wayfinding. We got 25 proposed locations for signage along the parkway. Get feedback on that. They all look what we're after. So the next step is getting some signs printed, looking around, it's we're probably late fall. To actually see those. But nothing's super finalized. If anybody has any last minute thoughts, aside from what we've discussed here, let me know. And then I think I already mentioned this, but we got the grant for the bridge abutments for that Stone Valley, they call it, and behind the Episcopal Church bridge, and they have that out today. So hopefully we award that. So we can start that project. The plan is still to drop the Memphis in the bridge.
Cool.
So that'll help with some of that.
Did the city get that bridge donated?
No, well, Mathis, that was the one that was at the Mathis,
Yeah.
and I don't know originally where that was sourced or where that came from.
But the nature conservancy gave it.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's in our possession now, yes.
And how long it'll be closed while they're
I don't know the construction timeline. I would imagine it. Yeah, I mean, it's a big project. That bridge is spanning quite a bit more length than the current.
I've seen David hop that before. So no problem. You can do it without the bridge, David. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Let's bring it right there. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Scott, search and rescue.
Well, we had a really busy spring and really busy June, and we're looking at right now our slowest July ever. So there's probably nothing that's going to change that with no calls this month, which is unusual. Might be the heat and the smoke pushing people away. We are looking for new members. So if you know people that would be interested,
Sorry, my interrupt for a second. The opportunity. Have you guys all met Sean? Sean maintains our pay pass.
Sean, the guy. Well, thank you. That's huge. Thanks for being here.
you were paving the bike path today,
That was the road department, but we are involved in that. for sure. So,
Awesome.
yeah. I'm trying to figure out what to do with those cracks. So,
Yeah.
It's on our list, guys, I promise. I don't know what to do with it.
The city, is just experimenting with on Mill Creek where that gouging happened, where they took out the bike lane lines with a new product that's tar with an aggregate in it, so it's structural. It's held up amazing in the trial period, or in the test places where it's, the gouges are probably an inch.
Does it sink down after a while?
It hasn't at all. No, the aggregate keeps it in structure. It's amazing, and my hope is that the city will start using other places, but I was thinking about that riding on the bike path, because it stays in place, it's structural.
See, everything we put in, it seems like it sinks down into the dirt below. It's
Yeah.
pushing down, it's like, yeah, I can only do this for so long.
Yeah, call Ashley from Harrison's. She found the product and she's the one who.
Thank you for your work. Appreciate you. Scott, when you say, looking for member, or like for contributions, or like you looking for help?
Looking
Like,
for people that want to join the greatest search and rescue team in this contemporary era.
yeah.
And we're actively advertising that. We'll take applications and interviews in September, I think. So, people that want to be part of our organization, we're constantly, we're kind of doing this once a year now. It seemed like in the past it's hit or miss. So, let's see this, on the 20th, they're repaving the Sand Flats, the Slick Rock Bike Trail parking lot. And Helder Bend also.
They're doing it in phases.
Okay.
So we're always, the trailhead's always gonna be open, but like one day we'll do one half and the next day a quarter. It's all been phased.
So it's been like, for those that don't know, that big white box trailer that you see it parked there, we've been storing a UTV there for kind of a more rapid access. And I'd say
it allows us to get EMS on scene like a half an hour earlier than we used to, and we'll be moving that for a little short period of time, and hopefully like getting some logos on there that kind of say it's search and rescue, and then like a QR code to donate, and something to reference the fact that the OHV registration dollars have made that possible. You know, I think it'll be coming out in like the local papers, but I think we've done now 4 UTVs for search and rescue, and the sheriff's office has purchased a couple of UTVs all through the grants, and it's a lot of money. I know Trail Ambassador Program is capitalized on that same process as well, and yeah.
Cool.
The box trailer is also kind of a big billboard. I don't know if you guys have the ability to maybe post some educational, maybe not permanent, but figure a way to put a banner or something.
Yeah, I think it's gonna,
just a thought.
It's gonna look like most of the current sheriff vehicles. And like I say, like a large sticker that has a donation link and something else. And I've given up on like educational messages that include words.
Dave said he would love to see a wrap on that. So, awesome. Anything else, Scott?
I think so.
Thanks.
You know, I'm going to be working with the emergency management to try to get some signage about flooding, specifically in some of our trails that get actively flooded. You know, left hand has always been a concern. Grand staff. I just got an email. It sounds like the Mary Jane Canyon is picking up a lot of business. And, you know, like right now we're just like wishing for rain, at least I am. You know, when it does come, it can be too much at once sometimes. So we're trying to keep that in mind, that that's still a potential.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Sand Flats, and you may as well cover running as well if you want. Sure, running and Sand Flats.
Sure. Well, big news in Sand Flats. Already the pavements and parking lots for the Pleasant Ends at Sick Rock being repaved all next week. They're gonna go in phases. The trailheads will never be closed, but they're just gonna alternate out on exactly what days and set. Fencing, we're doing new fencing around some of the historical sites with new signage. We're doing a big inventory with Grant County on signage also. Dark sky application, it's still in the process. We're getting a new toilet at the LPS.
Oh, sweet. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's actually
That's unfortunate.
Cool.
Will they be leveling that parking area as well when they put in that toilet there?
I'm gonna have to do some.
Because that would be really cool. That with the expansion of, with the Raptor Route and the popularity of it, that parking area can be out of control. And now that we have facilities going in, which is great, at least my $2 per person is going somewhere. People might be parking there more and more. And so having both sides of the cattle guard being usable parking would be great.
Yeah, I think one side of the fence is BLM, the other side is.
No, actually.
The forest side, they're both forests. Yeah.
It's at the cattle guard. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anything else for Sand Flats or trail running?
Disappointment disappointing news, we did not receive the grant to pave the whole
Oh,
road. It's
what
gonna
a
be
bummer.
remodeled.
I didn't know that.
Definitely gonna apply next year.
Shoot.
But the positive thing is, you know, we're, gonna do the spraying of the treatment of the road, here soon. But we're not gonna use what traditionally we've been using in the past, that magnesium and fluoride stuff.
That's all.
We're gonna try something new. County Cody is it's gonna be some enzyme-based, more friendly material versus the yucky stuff. Yeah, so that's it for science class and for running. We've done 11 of the 21 events, 4,364 finishers. And the next race is the Ute 100, which is up in Los Alamos. We have 9 locals signed up.
Cool.
Up to, that's
Cool.
on the 8th of August.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you. Anna, Stuart, what does Stuart Moa have for us?
Back from Beyond won another award. It was a regional award. It's called the Ed Murrow Award. It was, I guess, pretty prestigious. So now it goes on to national evaluations. We'll know that at the end of the year, but good job, Molly and Grand County Search and Rescue, and formerly, GDAC. Good job. And then we're applying for a second season to the OHPR grants as well. Hoping to get our motorized portion covered, which would be to support our non-motorized portions. And that would correspond to certain episodes. So we're building out our sponsorship packets for that too. There's that. And then we are at the end of our trail ambassador season. I forgot to pull up my stats, but it's about 20,000 people that we've seen on trail. Our presence alone changes behavior. About 60% of those have received responsible recreation and stewardship messaging. And about 60% of that receives preventative search and rescue water. Our spill pits were sponsored this year by the Family Motor Coach Association. I know it's OHB, but really cool to have those sponsored this year. E-bike pamphlets are in the shops. They were reviewed by, no, I brought them here, but they were reviewed by everyone. They're in shops now. If you need more, just let me know. And then we are hiring for 2 trail ambassador positions in the fall. So that's hiking and OHB, so they'll have to be able to do both. We're also hiring a program manager. So if there's anybody, knows anybody who's interested in managing the trail ambassador program, human waste initiative, and we'll have guidance on it. That would be their primary.
Cool.
Did they find out about the job?
I just announced it here and I'll get it up at the end of the week.
Oh, cool.
I wrote it, I have it prepared, but I have a lot of things.
You'll send it out to us or send it to me and I can get it out to everyone? Cool. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Anna. Thanks for the good work you're doing. Chair report. I know it was just really fun to see the NICA kids here. There's a few coaches. We got Coach Lucas, Coach Cullen. Anyway, it's just really great to see that. And I feel like it's one of the more positive things that this community is doing. So thank you all for doing that. I'm excited for that. And then also, just like I say, pretty much every month, if you're unhappy, just get outside. And it's hot, just get outside early. If you're grumpy, if you have issues, and if you don't know anyone that's grumpy, it's probably you. Get outside, get out early. You'll be in a better spot. We live in such a cool place. Just get out early.
And Allie and I would also like to announce
We're doing a ribbon cutting for Mud Springs. There's so much night to talk. I was thinking we could hang on to this update. But September 11th, there'll be a big night race and unveil the course and in the works, so we might have some food and some music. So
So ribbon cutting on September 11th. Cool. After pre-ride on Friday? Cool. That's really exciting. If you haven't ridden that course, go do it. Bring your family. It's really fun. I get to ride. We rode from our house to a trail. I was telling Maddie about it, from our house to do Mud Springs with my 9-year-old daughter, and it was great. So thank you. Anyway, get outside. You'll be happier. Samantha.
It's real slow. People aren't riding bicycles right now. At least they're not taking the shuttle. Yeah. Like dismal. And then I said earlier that Mud Springs is excellent, the entrance. This is kind of off topic, but maybe of interest to people. The BLM has a comment period open for, I think, just 2 more days regarding the reroute of Rocky Mountain power lines. They want to move them down along Cane Creek Boulevard. So if you have anything to say about that.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all.
Lucas.
I don't have anything.
Lucas, thanks for taking copious notes. Thanks for being a really good NICA coach.
Oh, and one more thing, Lucas brought up the idea of a bench a little bit ago at Mud Springs at the top there of the climb. And I was out there recently, and I think it would be a great place for a bench, very scenic. A lot of families stop up there before they start the downhill. So I think with the family aspect of it, having a place to rest would be nice. And I think it could be cool to name it in honor of Fred and his final project that his final trails he built for us here. So
it'd be really cool to see.
Take it easy.
Okay. Wait, I don't know what the process is to get that done or to propose it or how that works. I don't know if it's a BLM thing or what it is, but it would be really cool to see that. And maybe we just chat about it after.
As they said, we just need money to buy it.
Got the okay from the BLM to name the last trail we worked down with Fred is Okie Way.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, if we just need money, let's get some money together and get that done for Fred if it's possible. Cool. All right, David, biking. Okay. We talked about a lot of biking things today, so.
Exciting to hear about the purchase possibilities and like stuff growing.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Thanks, David. Roped activities, Faith?
It's also very slow. I have some clients this week who are all surprised with how hot it was. I am boosting out for a month this weekend, so I'll miss next meeting. But I don't think a lot will happen for activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Well, we're really glad you're here. Stephen and Marty.
Marty's going to take it, but just a brief word on that one and how it affects this group, Grand County, Moab. As you know, it's the largest active fire in the United States, 107,000 acres. You have to understand that it burnt the majority of the Abajo Bank. And once it's out, it's not out, the impacts have started. And you guys have firsthand knowledge of it. You've been through Pack Creek and you know what's involved. And that was a terrible fire, but not to this extent. We're looking at impacts of the watershed, about the deadfall, the winter kill. When all this stuff actually supposed to be a snowy year next year, the amount of timber that's going to come down, the wildlife that will be displaced or die of starvation. They can't go a valley over because that's bird too. They can't go 4 valleys over because that's bird too. So it's going to be a drastic environmental mess for several years. What that means to the Moab area is a lot of the higher activities in the mountains. Some of the groups will actually start targeting something similar in the area. It's already been proposed. You have one, you're probably going to see more. We had the same issue. They have trail rides in the Monticello area, and they're basically all going to be canceled with no real chance of opening. We hope for a quick recovery. We know that after 4 or 5 months, you start to see green in some of the burned out areas. We hope like to return, but it's going to impact so much when the rains do come, the mess will break with all this action. So thanks for listening. It's gonna be a big deal to everybody in the area.
Yeah, thanks, Steven.
Out there, outbreak, and you know, they're replaceable things, but wild.
Yeah. Marty? Yeah, I would imagine so. I thought that when I saw that was getting closer there. Marty?
The Utah Backcountry Horseman Board has actively requested letters and calls to the state reps, depending the roadless rule. And in 2025, volunteers contributed 12.4 million in trail maintenance.
Nationwide.
Well, across 31 states. So there's a lot of voices out there.
Cool.
Impact. Our Adopt a Trail program, which is a collaboration with the Forest Service on Girlfriends. That was inspected by, thanks, Naomi, Steve's wife. So that was done in June. And our chapter is looking into more grants to apply and expanding parking facilities, and mainly in areas of the San Juan County. But some of these areas are definitely impacted by the Babylon fire. And we're continuing to mark the trails on the Onion Creek bench. And we hope to have this completed sometime in the fall. Thanks to Pete, who's putting in quite a few hours in collaboration with BLM. And one more thing of the, I think is it Ports Hotels?
Yes.
.com is up and posted as far as we have talked about this, as far as travelers coming through with other states with their horses. So this seems to be a place where a lot of users book, and so that's increases and campgrounds, this campsites that the BLM has.
Awesome.
Cool little weather, so you guys can finish off the other creek. But you don't have time to creek down. Let's just get that done. I don't know, should we have Thanksgiving as a presentation to finish off the Onion Creek market? That should be cool.
We don't have a whole lot. It wasn't talking late. That's probably one to go out.
He did tell me just yesterday.
Cool. Thank you, equestrian group. Does KP want to say anything about skiing? I don't see you on the screen here, but sorry, you're on mute, but I don't know.
KP had a very demanding dog. She has nothing to say about skiing other than we hope we have a season next year.
Yes. All right. Active transportation, Emily, she's on a fire assignment. Speaking of fires, so she said there's some crosswalk painting that's happening at the intersection of Locust and 4th East by Milts, and I've been seeking folks e-biking to town from hotels south of town on 191. So there's some hotels are getting e-bikes that they just let people use, other are employees. And so we just want to chat with them about other alternatives than biking on 191. So she's working on that to keep people off the highway. That's it for Emily. And then I think at large. So Dave, while I've got you, do you have anything for everybody?
Nothing other than to share what I'm experiencing in our little kind of companion town of Crested Butte. And goals that we should have for ourselves. We did a trail work day here that had 92 people on a Wednesday night, and they gave away a set of NV carbon wheels. They have 11 more sets that they are giving away this year for their trail nights. And they had their fundraiser party with Black Uhuru, the band who played Friday night in Moab for free. Tickets here were $150 a pop, and they sold out, and I did not get to see either night. So it's interesting to see the difference in financial contributions that take place with different towns and philanthropy types and so forth when it comes to mountain biking. And I'm not sure how it gets done. Even though I've picked a lot of brains here, it just seems to happen in different places, different ways. But yeah, goals, you know. And other than that, yeah, I haven't been in Moab really much in the last month. So I keep looking at the weather, and I'm glad I'm not. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
What was the bucket thing that you were telling me about? The trail and everyone carrying a bucket.
Oh yeah, they did. They worked on 1 mile of trail here before we got here, and another trail night. Actually, it was a trail weekend. They had over 120 people, I believe, showed up for that one, and they had 50 buckets that people were shuttling, half full, 5-gallon buckets, half full of gravel, and they covered a talus field about 150 yards long, turned it into a gravel path in one day.
That's so cool.
Very impressive, the work that they get done. And of course, as Maddie's always says, many hands make for light work, and it's amazing how many people they get out here for their trail days.
That's so cool. Tim, what do you have for us?
Nothing really, but I'm glad to hear Dr. Nathan. Glad to hear about baseball.
Good things are happening. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Tim. Let's see, Mark's in here. Tim was on the phone, but looks like he dropped off. Colin? Anything else?
I do, real quickly, and it's city stuff. So as we heard, the striping is happening. The city's still committed to a striping plan where, it'll be contracted out. So right before school starts every summer, hopefully our customer will come in and redo all the striping in town, and we'll slowly be shifting over away from paint into thermoplastic, whether that's contracting out for thermoplastic. We've already done, I think we did 8 crosswalks of thermoplastic, just a hardier, more robust, sustainable material. And so we're slowly transitioning over, whether it's the city doing that or explore contracting company. But striping is happening right now. Katie, I know I keep promising this, and I'm going to keep promising you this. The Dogwood pedestrian light, I just asked again. I know UDOT has it on their radar. From my understanding, so they still need to do the work study, but you know it's going to pass the work study. So I know UDOT will, you know, if we keep prodding them.
For the bike path and road one, you know, working right in corner.
Yeah.
That's hopefully that's coming soon. And then that sidewalk section between the new liquor store and Big O Tires, the city and county are working on that collectively and share the cost of that. And so hopefully that is something that you will see in the next 6 months. As we heard, that is going to get the sidewalks.
Cool.
Where's the empty car? Or is it a car?
I think nothing else there. Okay, the last thing I have is I sent out an email to everyone just before the meeting. There's the 250 relay to kind of celebrate this country's 250th. With all the smoke, they've kind of moved it to go from the Henry Mountains to Green River. and it's only 2 guys that are doing it, but they are hoping that they'd have more help. So if anyone could help them and ride some miles, please get a hold of me, or their email contacts are in that email. So go help them so they don't have to do 250 miles on their own. That would be really.
So they're trying to find people to pass the baton. Yeah, I asked them not to come through Utah in August, but that's how it went. So they're having trouble finding.
I get it. I get that. Okay, we made it through. It is 1:01. High five the people next to you. We did it. We had a lot of stuff to cover. Dave, I'm high fiving you. Thank you. Appreciate all of you. I'm adjourning the meeting 1:01. Way to go, everybody. Thanks, Dave.
Oh,